Hey screeners, welcome back to another episode. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Brittany.
And we are
Paper Screen. Happy New Year, Ricky.
Happy New Year. I wanted to ask you, how was your holiday? Because I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
It was good. It was pretty chill this year. I went to Cheesecake Factory with my partner and Bunny, and I saw Wonka.
I didn't know Cheesecake Factory was open on Christmas.
Well, this was Christmas Eve, technically.
Oh.
Christmas Day, just went to the beach, and...
Did you get your lips done?
Yeah.
I could tell.
I actually got them.
They look good.
I didn't do this on Christmas. I got lip blush, which is like a lip tattoo.
Oh, that's why it looks a little tinted. I thought you were wearing lipstick. I was going to be like, ooh, I love the new lip color.
So when you get it done, so this is day 2. It's like really bright because you just got a tattoo in your lips, essentially. But you have to wait 6 weeks and then you see the real, like the true color. So it usually fades like 90%.
Oh, I've never heard of tats for your lips.
I know, it's like not, I guess not a big thing or whatever, but
it looks so natural.
Right? And it's going to fade a ton. So it's kind of like an alternative option if like you want to enhance your lips like semi-permanently, but like you don't want to get filler. So like instead of getting filler, I got this like lip blush. They call it lip blush.
Cute. Love that for you.
Thanks.
New year, new bitch.
What did you do for the holidays?
This year, my brother came to visit me and we just had a little brother bonding time.
Cute.
He hasn't been in LA for maybe like 2 years, and I actually kind of got to give him the LA experience. The first time he was here, he didn't get to explore as much. And this year, I took him to a bunch of places like Runyon Canyon. Oh, he's never been to the Grove. Oh, so I took him to
your favorite place.
Oh my God, it was such a fucking nightmare on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I bet.
I was like kind of annoyed.
Yeah.
I was really just trying to go to the movies. We saw Aquaman 2.
Oh, right.
Which was a fun movie. Apparently that's the last DC extended universe film.
Yeah, because they have a new guy taking over and he's like, okay, all that's done.
Yeah, James Gunn, right?
Like even Wonder Woman, he's like, done. Superman, you're done. I honestly am not positive, but I could have sworn I had heard he had said something like he'd be open to keeping Ezra Miller. But I don't know. I don't know. I might be making that up because they were like a good character and stuff.
Anyways, so that's what I did on my holiday break.
Nice.
Yeah. So Brittany, what are we talking about today?
So we're going to go over our top 10 favorite movies of 2023.
But before we get into this, I will say that we did not see every movie from last year. That includes Killers of the Flower Moon. I really wanted to see Godzilla -1. I hear people say good things about it, and unfortunately that's not going to be on my list. But yeah, just wanted to clear that out. But let's start with number 10. Brittany, what is your number 10?
So my number 10, I had a really fun time going to this movie. It was a good audience. It's just super fun. Number 10 is Thanksgiving.
Ah, yes! Oh my God, I'm so glad that you had that on your list.
Yeah. Probably my first Eli Roth movie on a top 10 list.
Yeah.
Ever.
Totally. What else did you like about it?
I just thought it was just such like a classic, horror movie, like teen slasher.
Yeah.
I thought I liked the setting because it was like whatever year. Like,
well, I think it's present time, but like...
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because they're on their cell phones.
I thought it was like 2008 because it was like when Black Friday was like a big thing.
It's true, but it is a small town, so Black Friday might be a huge thing to them.
Yeah, because now I feel like Black Friday is like donezo. Like no one cares about it.
Like you can just do that shit online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought it was super fun. The kills were gnarly. You know, I covered my eyes
that.
a lot. Yeah. But, and I just think like a big part of it's just like the audience. That's my number 10. What's your number 10?
So my number 10 is a tie. The first one that I'll talk about is a horror comedy that I felt like got slept on during the summer. And that movie is The Blackening. I really liked this movie. I saw this with my boyfriend. How would I would describe this movie? It's like Saw meets Scream in a cabin on Juneteenth. And then the second movie, I feel like people didn't see this either, but it also didn't come in theaters. They cloned Tyrone with John Boyega and Tiana Paris. And Jamie Foxx is in this too. I felt like this was an underrated film and I really liked this when I watched it. It's got this 70s vibe, but it takes place in like this dystopian future. And if you've seen like movies like Sorry Not to Bother You,
Okay.
it's got that similar vibe.
I haven't seen either.
Oh my God.
I know. I was gonna see The Blackening and then just like
Yeah.
there's a lot of movies that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see like, and then I just don't. But
So that is number 10. What is your number 9?
so my number 9 is a tie. Okay, so last night I realized there was a movie I had not watched. So, and like you already mentioned, Killers of the Flower Moon, I have tickets for it, but I'm going to see like the cinematographer talk and it's like in January. Okay, so last night I watched Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a big one this year. And I like kept telling myself like, I'm going to see that. And then literally until the night before we record our top 10, I finally watched it.
Nice.
But my number 9 is going to be Anatomy of a Fall, and it's going to be tied with Totally Killer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. Totally Killer. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. So Anatomy of a Fall, I really liked it. It's really good. It's quite literally a trial. Like that's essentially what it is. Have you seen it?
I've heard the premise.
I think you'd hate it.
Why?
It's like 3 hours of people just talking in a trial.
If it's like interesting, like, because like true crime stuff
Yeah.
is like interesting to me, but I feel like it is one of those movies where like, oh, it's like who done it.
Yeah,
type.
totally. Yeah, well, you have to watch it and tell me what you think.
Okay.
But yeah, I liked it. It's French. It takes place in the French Alps. It's I don't know.
Wait,
but
I thought they spoke English.
they do, but that's part of the storyline is like why they speak English. So I don't want to like say too much, but it takes place in the French Alps and it's like a foreign film. Like it, you know, wasn't like produced by Americans or whatever. And then Totally Killer, we went to that screening, which was super fun. Again, it was like one of those movies that is just better when you see it with a good crowd.
Yeah.
I just thought that was super fun. Like, again, like classic slasher comedy.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest like horror comedies I've seen.
Yeah, and like the cast was really good. The girl who plays her mom young, it was in Cruel Summer.
Remember she was all like, I get married with da-da-da?
Yeah, she was so good. I want to rewatch it, but I might save it for like next Halloween or something, like,
Yeah.
because it's definitely one that I don't want to like overdo.
It's basically Scream meets Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way to.
Yeah. Fun movie. My number 9, it's The Color Purple. I didn't think I was gonna like this. I didn't think it was gonna make this list because I really liked the original movie. But surprisingly, this was really beautifully done. The music is really good. The music has this blues feel. Fantasia's really good. She's like a really good singer. She plays the main character, Celie.
Cool.
But I want to give props to Danielle Brooks, who plays Oprah's character in the original movie. She's really good. Her performance was like just fantastic. Something that I liked about this version was that like they kind of kept some things from the movie, but because this is based on the Broadway musical, they switched it up. But I thought it was visually cool how they did things because it just feels like a different movie than the original. So
Yeah. Have you read the book?
I heard the book's really good.
Yeah, I haven't read it either.
I feel like people who went to see this movie expected to see The Color Purple, not a musical.
Oh, I see.
And that's the problem with marketing lately, is that like every musical is being advertised as like a movie.
Yeah.
Like even Mean Girls, the musical, and
Wonka.
Wonka. I was like, wait, Wonka's a musical?
Yeah, but I will say I love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder from 1970. It's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite movies. And this, like, it didn't even click with me until my partner said it, but he was like, well, that one's a musical.
That's what I thought.
And I was like, oh yeah, because it's not an outright musical. It just has song. It has like,
Pure imagination.
yeah, it has the Oompa Loompa song, Pure Imagination. Like there are songs throughout it. And that's kind of how the Wonka movie ended up too. It wasn't like heavy-handed musical where like Mean Girls is probably going to be, because it's literally a musical, you know?
Yeah, we'll see. So that's my number 9.
So my number 8, I think it's a good movie. It's like well made. It's a good story. It's interesting, really interesting choices, like the music. There's things about it. I'm like, is this serious, or is what I think is funny supposed to be funny? And then I had also read articles saying like it's like a drama with like a melodrama with like black comedy and, you know, whatever. But the movie is called May December. It was so weird. And it's one of those movies that they're just like, it's May December and Poor Things. They're like shoving into our face right now. Like in digital marketing, they were like, these are Oscar movies. But May December, great cast. Reggie or whatever from Riverdale.
Yeah, Charles Melton.
He was so good. I think he's the best in it. The strongest. He like the big scene he has is like feels really real. And then Julianne Moore, the more I think about it, I'm like, she's really fucking good in it. Like, she really knows how to show us what this, like, pretend my life is good, manipulative.
Yeah, I was going to say toxic.
Yeah. Kind of like perpetual victim, but then also like has to like dominate every conversation and room. So she's really complex. I think she did a really good job like showing us this character, like how she built the character. And then Natalie Portman's in it and I love her. But like other than like the monologue part where she's playing someone who's playing someone, her character was very like melodramatic, like seemed like a caricature. And maybe that's intentional. I don't know.
There's that scene with Natalie Portman and she's like in the pet shop or whatever, and she's like reenacting like the sex scene that that happened at this pet shop, and it was just so funny because like she's really trying to be in this character.
Yeah. Like she's kind of this over the top, I'm an actress and I'm gonna.
And Julianne Moore has this like lisp throughout the film, and Natalie Portman is really trying to learn it.
She has this 2-minute and 22-second monologue where she's like practicing in the mirror. And I guess if you don't know, this movie is about, it's kind of like it's not based on, but it's similar, inspired by the teacher who was hooking up with like a 13-year-old, or Mary Kayla Turner. That's her name.
Oh.
She was convicted and they had children. She's dead. She died in 2020, cancer.
Oh, shit.
And they were divorced before she died, but he was like still her friend or whatever. But so it's kind of based off that. It's this, and you don't know, well, I didn't know anything about it when I watched it, other than like I think you said like, oh yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah, I knew you would like it.
Yeah.
I knew you would like it, but I knew that you would think like, oh, this movie is problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it opens with Julianne Moore like getting ready for like a 4th of July barbecue or something. And there's these kids and it's this gorgeous house. The whole time I was like, what kind of work are they doing? How did they get this house? Are they loaded? Like, but then you find out it's like in Mississippi or Georgia or Alabama or something. So it's like,
I thought Rhode Island or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's somewhere. So maybe a little bit more affordable, because they're like, it looks like they're on like a lake or the ocean. Like it's gorgeous. Anyway, Reggie from Riverdale, he comes in and like at some point they like kiss each other on the lips, and me and my sister were watching it. We were both like, oh, he seems like he could be her son. Yeah. It's not like, oh, he's kind of young for her. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I know some listeners do this. Some people kiss their kids on the lips.
Which I think is weird.
Me too. Thank you. I hate it. I hate it. Yeah. There's so many other things you could do. You could kiss them on the forehead, on the cheek. You could blow them a kiss, but you gotta kiss them on the lips. Nasty. Anyway, yeah, and then the rest of the movie, like, then you kind of find out, like, what the sitch is. Because, yeah, when Natalie Portman shows up, I'm like, who is she? Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But right when they meet, Julianne Moore is, like, she has the high ground. She's, like, standing.
Yeah.
And she's, like, immediately kind of, like, jabs Natalie's character. She goes, oh, I thought you were going to be really tall, but you're the same as me. So this, like, weird, like, immediate. And I think it's interesting because you can tell Natalie Portman's character gets it because she's manipulative too, because she's an actor.
Yeah. And she's a Gemini.
Yeah. In real life. Anyway, but what is your number 8?
So my number 8 is a tie. Both films surprised me this year. This one particularly, I didn't think I would like, but it's Oppenheimer. I was like blown away, actually. I was like really impressed with how the storytelling is and like how the editing and the cinematography was. Even the music was just like epic. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think I was gonna like this movie because I'm not a Nolan fan like a lot of people are. But I was so taken in and just I didn't know anything about Oppenheimer. Amazing performances from like everybody. The other film is The Iron Claw. This is the wrestling movie about the Von Erich brothers, which I didn't know the story going into this movie. I thought it was just literally gonna be like a heroic wrestling movie. This movie was like an emotional roller coaster, and I was like, whoa, this is heavy, this is depressing. But Zac Efron's performance in this was like amazing. He really carried this movie. But yeah, that wasn't my number 8.
Both amazing movies.
Yeah. So what's your number 7?
Okay, my number 7 is one of the only movies, if not the only movie, that I saw twice in the theater. It is, do you have a guess?
Did this movie come out earlier or later this year?
Later.
Did we see it together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hunger Games.
Yes.
Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, right?
Yep. And that one, what a surprise. So I read those books back in the day, saw the movies back in the day. Kind of don't give a shit about them, you know? I still like them, but I don't ever really revisit them. I don't think about them. In my book club, my sister picked out this book to do. And because of having such a huge list of to be read books, I really, really try not to buy any books. And when this was in our book club, it just came out. So I wasn't able to like get the book unless I bought it. And I didn't want to. Plus, I mean, it's a big, thick boy. So I was like, I'll just kind of see what they think. And then they all read it and they were kind of like, yeah, it could have been, I think they said like it could have been shorter. It wasn't like amazing, but I don't think any of them like hated it or anything like that. So then this movie comes out. I'm not paying attention. But then a bunch of people on TikTok are making like funny TikToks. And like not like and I'm seeing enough on TikTok and then people being like, okay, let's like decipher, you know, this thing about the movie. Oh, and then Hunter is in it.
Hunter Schafer.
And we love Hunter, want to support Hunter. And I found out Hunter plays young Tigress, who's like, if you saw like the last movie, it's the woman who
has the tats, right?
She has like tiger tattoos basically all over her body, and then her hair is gone. And I think she has maybe implants. Yeah. Like really alt looking, but like high fashion tiger. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Hunter's so perfect for that. So then me and my partner one morning, I'm like, we got to go see this Hunger Games movie. Like everyone's talking about it. I want to see it. And they were like, okay. But yeah, I saw it and I was just totally enthralled.
I actually surprisingly liked it. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, this looks really boring. Mm-hmm. Like, where are the games? And they don't show that in the trailer. So that was like a surprise to me. But also the eye candy.
I know everyone's really loving the M&M look.
I know. I was like, ooh, the thirst trap. No.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. He's like very good looking.
Yeah.
But anyway, for the past like year, there's been so much discord on TikTok about the girl who plays Lucy Gray.
Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler. Okay, so there's so much like discord around her because of her interviews regarding Snow White. I literally thought she got fired from Snow White because of it, but she didn't. It's just, but the thing is like, I will say, I think there's some misogyny, maybe racism going on when people like criticize her about Snow White, because all she said was like, what does she even say? She was like, yeah, it's not going to be like some helpless princess story.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, fuck you, bitch. How dare you?
That's what people were riled up about.
That, yeah. Just that she basically, that she was kind of like whatever about the original story. And it's like, is that really what you're mad about? Or is it because it's not some white German girl?
Right.
Like, that's what I think. It's like, it's got to be, I mean, I can understand if you just like don't like a person.
Yeah.
But just the fact that there's like almost like an obsessive hatred of her, it was just like, what's the deal here, you guys? There's been like 30 Snow White movies, first of all. I don't know. Anyway. And then the other criticism is someone asked her why she was in, there's like another movie. I don't know if it was Hunger Games.
Shazam.
Oh, yeah, it was Shazam.
Shazam?
So someone asked her, like, why did you do Shazam? Like, what did you think of it? And she was like, I mean, I need a job. And so people were really pissed. And I was like, but would you be pissed if, like, Jacob Elordi said that?
Exactly.
Well, he did.
He did say that.
He did, yeah.
He did say that.
Yeah.
And people were comparing that. I feel like Jacob Elordi was more wrong to say what he said.
Because he gave more to it, right?
He was like, those movies are cringy.
Yeah. We're like Rachel. I mean, here's the thing. She literally did like an audition tape and she got West Side Story. She's not some actress that's been going to castings her whole life. Like, she's brand new to the industry and she's so fucking incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, I know she can sing because she was in West Side Story and I know there's gonna be singing in this Hunger Games movie. But like in the Hunger Games, I was like, damn, she really can sing.
She sings way better in this film. West Side Story, Ariana DeBose kind of stole that spotlight from her. Rachel Zegler in this one.
And just, you said that and I just hear Angela did the thing.
Angela Bassett did the thing. No, Rachel Zegler singing in the Hunger Games movie, I was like, dang. Because it was like a cappella.
Yeah, she really like, I believed her character. I was like, I see the dimensions of this character. I totally buy it. But back to business. So yeah, that was my number 7. What is your number 7?
So my number 7 is a tie. You've already mentioned this on your list. The first film is Thanksgiving. For all the reasons that you said, I loved the concept. I loved how fun and campy it was. It kind of gave me, my Bloody Valentine vibes, and the kills were great. It was very Final Destination, which is what I love. And I'm not a fan of Eli Roth, so this was a surprise. The other one is another horror film. Also crazy. It's also bloody. It's Evil Dead Rise.
Ooh.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of the Evil Dead movies, so I was like, I knew I was going to like this. But this was like a great entry to the franchise. And the epic main title sequence, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Seeing that on a big screen, I was like, damn, that was like fucking epic.
Yeah. It looks so like right over the lake.
What a way to open the movie. Like,
yeah. It was good.
But yeah, it's not for everyone because, it's like definitely for like horror fans.
Yeah, like body horror. It's really gross.
Yeah, there are some really gross scenes, but for some reason, they didn't really trigger me.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the kills or whatever were like squeamish, like things you were like, oh no.
Especially in the beginning when she scalps her sister's
yeah,
head.
So gross. I was like, oh my gosh.
And then there's what is that? Wood chipper?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's everything that you could think of. I'm going to give a spoiler, so jump ahead a few seconds or whatever. But the fact that they straight up kill all the kids. Like everyone's just, no one's going to stand a chance. Right. I was just like, damn, this movie's ruthless.
At least they were teenagers.
Yeah.
I was like, if they go after the little girl, I'm going to be like, what the fuck is this movie?
Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, that's my number 7. What is your number 6?
My number 6. My number 6 is, you already talked about this one, but The Iron Claw. Yeah, we went and saw it, and the director spoke, which is cool. I have not seen his other film. I had no idea what to expect. It was just more like, I know this is, again, one of those movies that might, like, I don't know if people talked about it in regards to awards, but at least, like, the trailer looked like it was on that level. And curious about Zac Efron, but I fucking loved it. Yeah. I mean, the whole first sequence is in black and white. And it's like a flashback. And it's just, I mean, I think the cinematography in this movie is like just kills it. And then, yeah, I was really surprised, like, because I thought the same. I thought it was going to mostly be like in the ring, you know, like I'm a hero, punch, but it's not. It's very much about like this family dynamic and like family roles for sure. Yeah, it was, I mean, it was frustrating to watch too, because you just be like, no, don't. I loved his girlfriend, the Lily James, shout out. Loved her. Adorable. I thought they had really good chemistry too.
I did too.
Like, I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say though, I feel like they really pushed Jeremy Allen White for marketing because of the Bear success. It was like 30 minutes into the movie until we even saw Jeremy. Anyway, yeah, Iron Claw. I think I'm going to see it again because I did really like it. And I don't think it's the type of movie I'm going to want to see outside of a theater. I'm also just like not really rewatching movies much anymore.
It's just too much. Like, I kind of get over it. I'm like, okay, I need something new to watch.
Yeah. Like, I'll rewatch classics for like the holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
And like Nope.
Brittany's favorite movie.
Yeah, my favorite movie. But what's your number 6?
My number 6 is a raunchy comedy that came out this summer. Underrated movie. All Asian cast. Female led. And that movie is Joyride. Have you seen it?
I did watch it, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I watched
Isn't it funny?
I watched it probably like 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah. I thought this was fucking hilarious. Like... And I didn't know how raunchy it was going to be. Yeah. Like when they showed like vagina, I was like, oh. Oh my God. Right. But like the first scene when like she's a little kid and she beats that kid up.
Yeah. So good. It's such a funny opener. And if you guys aren't familiar, this white family adopted an Asian daughter. She's like 5. At this point, and they're at the playground and there's another Asian family with like a 5-year-old daughter. Yeah. And they're like, can your daughter be friends with our daughter? And they're like, why? Yeah. And then like this little Asian girl steps out and they're like, oh.
That was like really cute and beautiful. I was like, oh.
It was really cute.
But that movie, Ashley Park's character goes through like trying to find her real parents. And that part, fucking heavy.
That part was like when she meets, I don't want to say it, but when she meets the other person instead.
And I was like, oh, you're the actor.
I'm going to spit out my coffee.
Okay, I didn't mention I did have another film for number 6.
Okay.
But we've already mentioned
How many ties have we had now? Is this your 3rd tie?
I told you I was going to have lots of ties. Just because this year was a good year of movies. It was just hard to choose. But okay, my other one, you've already mentioned. It's Totally Killer.
Nice.
Yeah, I just loved everything about this film. I love the 80s references. Just great concept. Yeah, it was a blast.
Hell yeah.
I think the movie experience was fun just because when we went to the screening, it felt like a special event.
Yeah, it did.
Because there were people dressed up as the killer.
And free pop and popcorn. I don't know why. That always makes it feel so regal. I'm like, oh, free concessions.
But the director who's person of color.
Yes.
Queer.
Yes.
I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Right.
And Chris Landon, who did Happy Death Day.
Yes.
He was the moderator.
That's right. Okay, yeah. It's all coming back to me now. And they talked about their writing team, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like, I think they like made a point where they were like, yeah, things can be really funny if like other people get to write. It was like, hell yeah. Because it was I think the whole audience, the whole movie, like every joke hit.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It was never not funny. Anyways, that's my number 6. What is your number 5?
So my number 5 is a tie. It's my second tie. Okay, so one movie I've talked about on the podcast already. I loved it. Thought it was so good. It's just, honestly, I thought it came out last year because it was so long ago at this point. So it's The Boogeyman. So I loved that. I thought it was really fucking scary. We also went to a special screening with like 2 actors. Yeah. Director. Free popcorn soda. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I never saw a trailer. I just saw the poster. We did like this like ridiculous photo for the poster.
Yeah.
They had like this thing set up. It was so funny.
Brittany fucking screamed.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much else. And then the other movie it's tied with, I just watched 2 nights ago. And I knew nothing about it outside of what you spoiled, which was that it involved possession. But it was When Evil Lurks.
Ooh.
So this is, so I knew it was like Spanish language. Mm-hmm. So I started it and I still don't know where this like takes place. I've only been introduced to like 5 characters. And one of them says like, but we're at the end of the world. Who would like, why would anyone care about us? And I was like, end of the world. I'm like, okay, so they're either in like Patagonia or Argentina.
Oh.
It's
Argentina.
Argentinian. Yeah. I don't think I've seen anything else by the filmmakers, but this movie too had a lot of discord on like horror people's lists. Like it was in a lot of people's top. And I heard it was like the scariest movie of the year and like stuff like that. I'm weird about what's scary though. Like I thought Boogeyman was really scary. Other people don't, you know, like it's just everyone's whatever. Like Evil Dead Rise doesn't scare me at all. But I'm sure some people think it's like really fucking scary. But I think Possession rarely scares me.
Yeah,
Oops.
you've talked about this.
Yeah. So, but this one was like, I think it was a really well-structured story, great cast. It's, it's kind of evergreen lore, but it feels fresher because it feels more realistic. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's a very like devastating story, I guess. But yuck. I want you to watch it and I want to know what you think.
I will definitely watch this tonight.
Okay, good. So what's your number 5?
So my number 5, I have ties.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise. The first movie that I'll talk about is called Rotting in the Sun, which no one knows about this movie at all. It was a sleeper that was at Sundance. This was a wild, raunchy comedy, very gay. Just a little bit about this film. It's about an influencer that meets this filmmaker and instantly becomes like obsessed with him. But then when you think it's one thing, it all of a sudden takes like this turn, whole different turn, and it turns into a whole different movie. Like it becomes a comedy then a mystery.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, my face just dropped, not because of all the dicks in the movie. But yeah, this was a crazy wild ride, and I thought this was really well done. And then the other film, it's Bottoms.
Ooh.
Another hilarious movie. Very silly. Rachel Sennett and Ayo Edebiri. Love them. Mm-hmm. Great cast. I love movies that really don't take themselves seriously.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know how unserious this movie was.
Right.
And it's super queer. So, yeah.
So good. I love that.
Okay, what's your number 4?
So my number 4, you're also going to get another episode on, so I won't say too much, but it is the new pedophilic porno called Poor Things. The cinematography, the music, the costuming, the art direction, the actors, it's made beautifully, really fun, really unique. But like I said, we'll have an episode about it, so I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, interesting movie. I won't say too much about it. I'll give it props for the production design, costume, great gowns.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Beautiful gowns.
Yeah, I will say too, it being number 4 on my list, it has to do with like, with all these movies, it's like half of it's like my experience watching them and like how much I liked it. And then the other half is like what I think is like a good film. I would like, this isn't a movie that would be like my top, it wouldn't even be on my top 20 favorite movies. You know what I mean? But it's number 4 on my list for this year.
It is what it is. I'm not going to hate on it. I didn't hate the movie.
Right. So what is your number 4?
Surprise, surprise. And number 4 is a tie.
This is like your top 20 list.
Just wait until I get to the honorable mentions.
Oh, shit.
Okay, first one, Blue Beetle. Surprisingly fun movie from DC. I don't say that often.
Right.
Connected a lot with this film. It's about a family. Just like that whole storyline made me think about my own family. So that's the only reason why I like the movie. Like, it is a fun blockbuster film. I feel like it didn't get enough attention because of SAG strike.
Yeah.
That. So just wanted to put it on the radar again that like I actually like this movie. And it like didn't make a lot of money, so
Is it Dunzo?
Probably.
Oh, that sucks.
I know. And, you know, it's about Latino family.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like their Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Okay. My other film.
Okay, yeah.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to put this on here because I was a fan of the first film. Great visuals, great animation. Also, I felt like it was under the radar.
Yeah, I think it was like, it's under the rug unless you're like a part of that fandom.
Yeah.
It's like a feature that's in animation and the most unique fucking animation ever. But I mean, I feel like it was really popular, but in its own bracket.
Yeah. Can't wait to see the next one. What's your number 3?
My number 3, you just spoke about Bottoms.
Yes.
Because, yeah, it was like best comedy of the year. Maybe best comedy in like a decade, 2 decades.
Yeah.
3 decades. I don't know. It was so fucking good. I love it. It is a movie I would watch more than once, for sure. It's perfect. And you'll hear more on a future episode. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is not a tie.
Oh.
You're like, thank God. I really liked this film. A lot of people didn't because of how weird it was. I did not expect this movie to be the way it was. So the movie is Saltburn.
Shocked. I am shocked.
I really liked this movie just because I was so invested with like what this character was doing. Mm-hmm. Maybe because I was like in this like fantasy of this guy who has a man crush, but it's not that. It's not this fatal attraction story. It's like something else. And I was like, whoa. But it was the bathtub scene for me. I was laughing out loud. Everyone was like, ew. But I'm like dying in the theater, like when he's like licking the rim of the drain. I was like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah, such a really, really interesting character. I was actually just texting with a friend about Saltburn earlier today, and I was like, his character arc is so weird. It's like, I don't know how I would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and Jacob Elordi, such a cutie pie. Mm-hmm. He's like a sweet little puppy dog.
Yeah, he's like different from his character from Euphoria, so it was refreshing to see him just be like a nice person.
Yeah, and I saw Priscilla, and he's very different in that too. So it's interesting getting, all of a sudden we're seeing Nate from Euphoria
be like a genuine person.
Yeah, like be all these different, I mean, he's like Elvis, however. It's so sad for Austin Butler because Jacob Elordi just like so effortlessly became Elvis. Would you watch that again?
Yeah.
Yeah, no question.
So that was my number 3. What's your number 2?
My number 2 you've already had on your list, Oppenheimer. I loved it. I was like totally enthralled seeing this one too. I think I was like surprised because I had, there's obviously like some confliction because it's like, what is this movie going to be about? Because obviously we're against what happened as far as, the atomic bomb goes. But it was like, okay, is this movie about them making it? Like, and then I love Chris Nolan. Love Chris Nolan movies. I'm a Chris Nolan person for sure. But I loved it. I thought it was so good. I was like, oh, okay, it's like, because Chris Nolan doesn't really do like character pieces.
Yeah, biopics.
Yeah. It's so much usually more like plot heavy, in my opinion. Like his characters are always like, like his Batman's obviously has a lot of fucking depth and stuff, but like there's no action. There's no Chris Nolan action sequences.
Yeah, but he like keeps it engaging with like the editing.
Yeah, the editing in this is fucking like that. It better win. Because it's phenomenal. I mean, the movies, it's literally just people talking basically for like 3 hours, but like you never stop moving. The performances, insane. Like, I mean, we've done an episode about Oppenheimer, but yeah, I just think it's a extremely well made, well performed movie.
I agree.
What's your number 2?
I really was like debating if I should put this 1 or 2. I just loved everything about this movie. Just when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, this looks so fucking cool. I love the concept. This movie is talk to me.
I knew it.
I mean, I'm not going to say too much because we already did an episode. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and listen to it. But yeah, I will say the montage scene.
Oh,
fucking epic.
Perfect. Yeah, this could win for editing too.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I would be so down for this to win directing because like these 2 YouTube boys,
I know,
twinsies, fucking killed it.
I wish I was a YouTuber turned filmmaker.
It's not too late.
I'm a filmmaker already.
Yeah.
I'm in my podcast era. Okay, what's your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions, I have 3. 1 almost made the list, and then it didn't. But it was The Flash with Ezra Miller, who I hope can avenge themselves. Anyway.
They just need to get baptized. And then they'll be okay.
Then poof. But my other one is Medusa Deluxe.
I've never heard of that.
For honorable mention, I could have sworn I told you about it because I thought Edwin would like it. Because it's like about actors in a theater.
Oh.
So it's a murder mystery.
Ooh.
And it's the murder mystery involving it's a British movie or something, but hair competitions, big extravagant hair, kind of like runway shows, but hair.
Got it.
So very artistic, but it's like one long shot the whole movie.
Wow.
And it's a murder mystery. It was really, really good. And my last honorable mention. So this was awesome in the theater. Like, I knew, again, nothing about it. Glad I didn't. But a couple of days later, I watched it at home because I wanted my partner to see it. And it just didn't hit the same way. Maybe because it had been spoiled for myself or because it just wasn't on the big screen because the audio is incredibly important.
Yeah, the sound design.
Yeah, but this is No One Will Save You. And you can check that out on Hulu because I'm sure you have not seen it.
Funny that you mentioned The Flash because, like, I almost put that on my list and then I got bummed. And No One Will Save You. I just loved how they did like some of the creature designs. But my favorite alien, this is not a spoiler, but it's like voguing.
Oh, so good.
All right. So my honorable mentions. The first one is The Marvels. And I'm putting this as an honorable mention because this movie deserved better. I thought this was a fun movie. And because I followed all 3 storylines. Like, I've seen Miss Marvel and I watched WandaVision because of Monica Rambeau. And I've seen the first Captain Marvel. So I already knew like everyone's backstory. So going into this movie, it is a lot if you haven't watched any of the other movies. So I get it. But people hating on this movie because it's just a female cast or Brie Larson, I'm just like, you guys are just fucking assholes.
Who would hate on Brie Larson? Is it because she doesn't need...
Men.
Yeah. Because she's so good. She can sing. She can act.
Yeah. The other honorable mention is Renfield.
Oh.
I saw this movie back in March. I was like, oh, this movie is fun as fuck. Great cast. Nicolas Cage as Dracula. I was like, that's
camp.
That's camp as fuck. I was like, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a fun movie. I guess I would put The Flash in there too.
Yeah. I mean, if it was gonna make your list and then it got bumped.
Yeah. Well, The Flash, and then there was something else that was tied, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I haven't seen that either. I haven't seen like any Marvel movies this year.
I thought it was really good. I was kind of surprised. What I liked about that movie was not only was it a tearjerker, but they wrapped up the whole Guardians of the Galaxy storyline. Yeah. So those are my honorable mentions. I guess we can go into number 1.
So my number 1, I think it's a perfect movie. I think it's so impressive what these two gentlemen in the country of Australia did such a good job. I love the story, love the cast. Haley is everything. Mia, phenomenal. Riley, shout out.
The hand.
The hand. I'm actually so stoked for a second one because as long as the Filippo brothers do it, have full control in the same way they did the first one, I know it'll be phenomenal. Or at least fun, whatever. But yeah, I think within seconds of that movie starting, I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And I had only everything I knew was like from you. Because you were like, this is A24's big movie this year. It's like the big horror that's like, you know. And I saw the trailer, so I knew there was some sort of possession or something in a hand. So, and then like seeing it, I was like, fuck yeah. And then I took my friend Katie, and like it was like really fun because when that movie ended, she was like, fuck yeah, that was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
And then she saw it like 100 times or so. Like she went so many times. She like took a different person every time, like to show them like.
I want to buy that movie actually.
Yeah, totally.
With the hand.
Oh, do they sell that? Like the hand holding the DVD? That would be so funny. Okay, number one. Number one.
My number 1 is she's queen. She's mother. Megan.
Oh, that's another, like, now that you say it, I'm like, oh yeah, duh. But that's another one that feels, because it came out in January, right?
Yeah,
almost a year ago.
Crazy. This movie was so fun and unserious, and I loved every moment of it.
It was made for you.
It was definitely made for me. It gave me everything I needed in a movie. This is my Barbie, you guys. Megan ran so Barbie could walk.
Ooh, yeah. Oh my God, make that a t-shirt. Yeah, notice neither of us put Barbie on our list. No hate to Barbie.
Yeah.
No hate to Barbie. We did an episode. It's just like not for us. It's not our cup of tea.
I will say it was on my list at the beginning until I watched like a million movies.
Oh, yeah.
But no, that movie was fine.
It probably would have been on my list if there was no Will Ferrell or Ryan Gosling. Well, cool. I think, we had really different lists this year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. You're going to get like 2 different colors of movies.
Yeah. Well, guys, let us know what your favorite movies were in 2023.
Brittany, where can we find you?
You can find me at humble_book_review.
And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at somecallme_Ricky. And if you liked this episode, you can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Paper Screen Podcast. So smash that like button, hit us up, let us know what you think. Until next time, bye.